where we're tackling something that affects absolutely every single one of us, and that is our time. You know, every single day we wake up and we are gifted time. But here's the really hard truth. If we don't learn how to control it, something else absolutely will. Your phone, your notifications, your endless to-do list, or even other people's priorities are going to step in and dictate your life. So today, we're exploring the incredible union of modern productivity science and timeless Islamic wisdom to actually master our days. 86,400. I want you to think about that number for a second. That is the exact number of seconds all it gives us every single day. And every night, whatever we fail to use wisely, it's just gone forever. You can't put it in a savings account, and you definitely can't roll it over to tomorrow. Now, millions of people know they waste time, yet they repeat the exact same habits day after day. So the real question here isn't whether you value time, but whether you know how to truly effectively control those 86,400 seconds. So let's get into Section 1, Own Your Morning Routine. And it all starts with clarity. Picture waking up without a plan. Look at the comparison here. On one side, you grab your phone, check a few notifications, maybe reply to a message, open up YouTube or Instagram, and before you know it, an entire hour has just completely disappeared. Come on, we've all been there. You're basically letting the day control you right from your bed. But now look at the other side. This person wakes up for Fajr. They make dua. They spend just a few quiet minutes with the Quran, and then they write down their 3 most important tasks for the day. Both people have the exact same 24 hours, but the person who started with Fajr intentionally took control. Because planning isn't about packing every single minute. It's about deciding what truly deserves your time. This stark contrast really brings to mind an absolutely profound piece of historical advice. Umar ibn al-Khattab said, "Take account of yourselves before you are taken to account." You see, a highly productive day doesn't start by frantically rushing into your work emails. It begins with self-reflection. When the world is quiet and your mind is completely fresh, that's when your day begins with real purpose. Moving right along to Section 2. Frameworks for deep focus. Let's talk about maximizing your energy. Have you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? It's also known as the Pareto principle. Imagine a farmer who owns hundreds of trees, right? But only a few of those trees produce the absolute sweetest, most abundant fruit on the entire farm. Should he spend his time watering every single tree equally? Of course not. He's going to focus on the trees with the biggest harvest. This principle suggests that roughly 80% of your results actually come from just 20% of your efforts. Think about your own life. Which activities bring the greatest benefit? Is it prayer, deep learning, building a specific skill? Not every task is equally important. And Islam teaches this exact same lesson. Our lives are short, so we really have to spend our time on the deeds that carry the absolute greatest reward. We can't confuse simply being busy with actually being productive. And this focus on high-reward deeds leads us to our next strategy, which is called Eat That Frog. I know it sounds a little weird, but stick with me. Let's say you have 2 tasks. One is super easy and the other is incredibly difficult. Naturally, most of us run away from the difficult one, right? And it just follows us around all day long like a dark storm cloud. Well, Eat That Frog means doing your most important, most difficult task first thing. Once it's finished, everything else the rest of the day feels so much lighter. Overcoming laziness like this isn't just about finishing a to-do list. It's about literally training your soul. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us to never delay good deeds. Tackling the hard things first builds discipline, and discipline at the end of the day is a form of true strength. So, as you sit down to tackle that really hard task, how do you actually sustain your focus? Enter the Pomodoro Technique. Check out this visualization. Picture a massive 25-minute slice of pure, deep work. I'm talking no phone, no notifications, nothing, followed by a tiny 5-minute slice of rest. Think of it like a runner. A marathon runner wouldn't just sprint for 3 hours straight without stopping, right? Well, your brain works exactly the same way. When you force yourself to stare at a screen for hours on end, your focus just completely evaporates. The Pomodoro Technique lets you work with your brain's natural limits rather than fighting against them. Believe me, 1 hour of this deep, structured focus is worth way more than 4 hours of exhausted, distracted half work. All right, Section 3, structuring your perfect day. It's time to organize the chaos. Be honest with me for a second. Has a teacher or a boss ever given you like an entire month to finish a really simple assignment? What usually happens? You wait, and then you finish it in a blind panic the night before it's due. That, my friends, is Parkinson's law. It's the concept that work automatically expands to fill the time available. If you wake up and say, "I'll finish this today," I promise you it will take all day. But if you say, "I'm going to complete this between 9 and 9:45 a.m., you instantly create focus. Without strict deadlines, our incredibly valuable time just quietly slips out the back door. And when absolutely everything feels urgent, your desk is piled high with papers, your emails are blowing up, the Eisenhower Matrix is a literal lifesaver. You just stop and ask yourself 4 simple questions about any task. Is it important and urgent? Do it right now. Is it important but not urgent? Schedule it. By the way, these are usually the tasks that actually change your future, like reading the Quran or learning a new skill. Now, what if it's urgent but not important? Delegate it. And if it's neither urgent nor important, have the courage to just remove it entirely, the whole shebang. Remember, every single time you say yes to a distraction, you are directly saying no to something highly valuable. So how do we pull this all together? Time blocking. Imagine boarding a moving train that has absolutely no destination. Where are you going to end up? Who knows? But that's exactly how so many people live their days. Instead of a chaotic, endless to-do list, time blocking gives every single hour a defined purpose. Like 5:30 a.m. is for Fajr, 6 a.m. is for learning, 9 a.m. is blocked off for deep work, and the evening is strictly dedicated to family and rest. The most productive people out there don't magically find extra time in their day. They intentionally protect the time they already have on their calendar. Which brings us to section 4, the secret to consistency. Let's make these routines actually last. Look, if you try to completely change your entire life overnight, like I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m., read 100 pages, and work for 10 hours straight, you're probably going to give up in a week. It's just too much. Instead, you need to utilize habit stacking. This is about making one tiny small change, maybe just reading one single page of the Quran after Fajr, and doing it until it becomes completely automatic. Then and only then you stack another small habit right on top of it, like 10 minutes of planning. Great lives aren't built in a single day. They are built one day at a time. And honestly, this right here brings us to the ultimate secret to success. It really isn't about raw talent or luck. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said the most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are done consistently, even if they are small. Just think about how profound that is. Walking for 20 minutes every single day is so much better than running a 5-hour marathon once a year and then never exercising again. Reading 1 page a day absolutely beats reading 100 pages once and dropping the book forever. Consistency entirely defeats intensity, because doing small good deeds daily fundamentally changes who you become as a person. Okay, section 5, the 7-day time challenge. Let's transform your week. So all of this means nothing without taking action. I'm challenging you right now, for the next 7 days, to follow this 5-step process. Step 1, wake up for Fajr to start your day with purpose. Step 2, do not touch your phone for the first 30 minutes you're awake. Just don't do it. Step 3, write down your top 3 tasks for the day. Step 4, eat that frog. Do the hardest, most important thing first with absolute, complete focus. And step 5, before you go to sleep, I want you to ask yourself one incredibly important question. Did I spend today's 86,400 seconds in a way that would please Allah? Try this for just 7 days, and you are going to be shocked at how your life begins to change. One day, the clock that you've been listening to tick your entire life, it's going to tick for the very last time. Not because time itself ends, but because your time ends. And on that day, you aren't going to wish for a bigger house or a fancier job. You'll wish for one more day. Just one more prayer, one more chance to do something good. But that day won't come. That's exactly why this very moment right now is such a massive gift. The question isn't whether you have enough time. The question is, what story are you writing with the time Allah has already given you? Protect your time, put these strategies to work, and trade your remaining seconds for eternal rewards. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.